Husband is stealing my Adderall. I am not Oop. Oop is you, alarmed bed 6196. Whom I hope is doing well after everything. Husband is stealing. Sick. My Adderall. Originally posted to our ADHD women. Trigger warning. Gaslighting. Theft. Drug addiction. Relapse. Less than. Original post Saturday, January 6, 2024. Since about June 2023, I've been having my pills become mysteriously missing out of my bottle. I've been anywhere from 10 or less short each month. I am prescribed 30 and 10 milligrams pills of Adderall a day. I couldn't figure out what was happening and didn't think my husband would do that. But it consistently happened to me every month. 4 months ago I confronted my pharmacy and said they must be shorting me, and the pharmacist said the amount is signed off and verified by 2 pharmacists including himself, the manager, before officially dispensing it into the jar. He said I'd strongly suggest you look into someone in your home who is taking it from you. I thought he was wrong. But after that, I started having them count in front of me at the pharmacy before I left the store. Each time, it was 30 pills in each bottle. Yet again, I'd bring it home and be shorted as quick as the next day when I recounted. Last month, I decided to hide them in a different spot each day. Surprisingly, last month was the only month they were not taken. Yesterday, I came home, and my husband knew I had just picked them up, and I stupidly left them on the kitchen table and took a nap. He was downstairs where the pills were while I was napping. I verified the amount with the pharmacist prior to leaving the store, so I knew I had the correct amount. When I woke up, I realized they were left out and brought them upstairs and hid them. I had not recounted them until this morning, and not to my surprise, there are already 3 pills missing. I confronted him for the first time, and he said, "Oh, you must have dropped them on the floor somehow." I said I did not. I had them closed on the kitchen table while I was napping. I said, "I know you are taking them." Then explained to him how I've been counting them for months, and this pattern of missing pills now only leads me to him. He shrugged and said he didn't, but no real argument back because I feel like he knows he's been caught and can't put up a defense case against it. My suspicion has also grown because last week we were on vacation, and he had a few glasses of wine and asked me if I would give him a pill. I said no and told him I needed them. Side note, I am in nursing school and need the pills more than ever to focus. Without the pills, I have no focus and am extremely tired and unmotivated. He knows how in need of them I am. I feel so violated. Prior history: he used to do ecstasy when we first met 13 years ago. He was doing it behind my back for years even after we had a child. And I honestly didn't know. He would lock himself in another room and stay up all night and wouldn't sleep with me. He admitted the addiction and lies to me a few years ago. So there's that in terms of prior stimulant addictions. What should I do? I just went into the bedroom, kneeled on the floor sobbing and staring blankly at the walls in utter astonishment that this was happening to me. Now here writing to you folks for advice. If you read this all, thank you for hearing me out. I know it was quite long. Pink heart. Relevant comments. You have a disability, but he is willing to forget that and make your education suffer so he can meet his own needs. Imagine if you were blind, but he stole your cane a couple of days a week. Sure, you could get around generally by running your hands along the wall, but he's willing to watch you suffer while he plays around with your cane. 1/3 of your pills means that in the last 6 months, he has left you without medication for 2 full months. Even more alarming, you're going to be a nurse. If you make errors in patient care because you could not be attentive, you may accidentally harm or kill someone. He is not only risking your education and career, his actions will likely put patients in very real danger. I agree with everyone else, look after yourself. Which means locking up your meds so you can access them when you need them. And demand he seeks addiction treatment. Do not take no for an answer. OP's response. So well said. I am saving your comment. Thank you so much for your reply. Op, aside from the many great responses you have received, you should also know that Adderall for normal people brains is basically wank time. There is a porn stash that he's been using with your pills most likely. OP's response. Wow, that makes so much sense. He doesn't sleep in bed with me either. He's had an issue with that stuff in the past when he was doing drugs behind my back. I bet that he's doing that again. I thought this was odd too. Unless he's gaming and interacting with people online after taking it. I wouldn't see ecstasy as a stimulant in the same way as other drugs like speed or cocaine though. I think it's actually classed as a psychedelic and I'm not sure it's addictive. Or that you'd look for stimulants to replace it. OP's response. I'm the op and knew he had a porn addiction back then. I was thinking he took the X and then would interact with virtual reality porn girls alone in the room was my thoughts when he confessed. Update. Same post. Sunday, January 7th, 2024. After all your responses, I ended up going through his things and found out you were all right. I found something else that I never thought he would do but now explains everything perfectly. And you all called it. He now had to admit to it. I told him to go get help and that I could file a report against him. As well as all the lies and distrust he has now broken. He broke down crying and pulled out the depression card. Of course. You're depressed, you're lying, stealing, and doing drugs. Who knows what else he's doing? I currently have not spoken to him since confronting him this afternoon. I am reading your responses on how to act and progress on my issue. It's not an easy leave as I have no parents or family nor a job. I am a full-time nursing student. Thank you again. Red heart. Imagine those pharmacy workers thinking, oh bless your heart, sweetie, as they were made to count them out in front of her time after time. I'm reading the comments in the original post. Folks were also warning OOP that he could abuse her position as a nurse in the future to get more drugs. OOP needs to break away from him stat. I would never be able to trust my spouse again. It's time for the OOP to divorce her Hussein. She has lived with a liar with no concern for her well-being her entire marriage. Investing time and money in therapy is, in this case, prolonging the inevitable. Obvious suspect is obvious, unless you're OOP. Pill timer caps. Not every pharmacy sells them, but they're a godsend when you can get them. Short of cutting into the bottle, there's no way to get around them. He admitted the addiction and lies to me a few years ago. So there's that in terms of prior stimulant addictions. She knew he had a history of addiction and lying to her. Brought Adderall and it never occurred he was the one taking it. She went to accuse the pharmacy and needed to be told it was him. And months of issues before she connected the dots. My head is meeting my desk. Repeatedly. As I have no parents or family. This asshole sure did pick on purpose. Clearly naive. A nurse so he'd have easier access to drugs. And no family to help her see the light faster or run. Something else she never thought he would do, CP? I was a nurse. This is way more common than you'd think. I am on this subreddit. There have been at least 5 women on this subreddit who've had their spouse steal their medicine. In the last year. It's an epidemic. But I've never heard of it happening the other way. I mean, I used to do Molly and that definitely never inspired me to steal someone's prescription. Dude's just a thief and a liar. Guessing she found out he graduated to straight up meth? I really needed my medication. But due to all the people stealing, selling, they took me off my ADHD medication in high school. The way she would rather believe the pharmacist was wrong instead of her husband, the one who had abused drugs before. Man, she is too naive. I wonder how long she has been married to him. And her age. Anyway, I also think that she found out he had CP, though he said that she could have him reported, probably because of his stealing. So she wouldn't not report someone who consumes CP, right? He broke down crying and pulled out the depression card. Oh, fuck off. So he used to do drugs and had a porn addiction, and she thought it was more likely for the pharmacy to short her on her pills? Great marrying material, S. What I want to know is WTF is he doing after taking Adderall exactly? Definitely child abuse material, right? Gotta say you shouldn't be getting Adderall at your age either. But whatever. It's lawyer time.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.